Hi, my name is Teresa Alabada, and this is Eczema Phoenix, where we learn how to transform the way we live with eczema. Today I'm doing a video that I have been postponing for a while. I have been meaning to do this, but it's such a triggering topic that I've just avoided it until now. And so I'm going to talk about how I recovered from hate and recovered from my hate of racism and the effect it had on my skin as an eczema warrior. So in my previous video about racism, hate crimes, and eczema, I obviously was very angry. It was 2021. Anti-Asian hate crimes were popular in the news and social media, and they still are, but they really peaked at that time. I should also say, because this video is about such a hot and tender topic, I'm going to do the same thing I did with my last video, which is to disable the comments, because I'm not a politician, a professional debater, or an expert on anything like those topics. This is just anecdotal, my opinion, and my own life experience, so take it or leave it. Just want to put that disclaimer out there. So this is just me sharing my story and my perspective. So yeah, last video on racism and eczema, I was very angry. I was definitely feeling vengeful, feeling retaliatory, and it really kind of reflected in my personal life. Very soon after I did that video, I was just so angry. I was making really bad decisions about my health. I was just so angry. I ate anything. I ate so much sugar. I ate so much um, processed food, like comfort food, easy food. And one fateful day, I had just way too much like spicy Indian food, and I just broke out in a super swollen, hot, inflammatory rash, like all over my face. I was oozing. It was very painful. It was debilitating. I was feeling like a little disabled. Like it was hard for me to move, like my neck and just my eyelids were swollen. It was like I was at ground zero again, or like day one of having eczema again. And if you believe in karma, I kind of feel like that's sort of what it was. Like, even if I, as a person of color, thought I was on the right side, um, being angry at white supremacy and all of these things, I was angry. I was in angry energy. I was putting out angry energy, which came back to me through my own decisions, um, and a lack of like balance and focus, because I was just so caught up in my feelings, which reflected in the food that I chose to eat at the time, and I got consequences from. And I was suffering for maybe like 4 to 6 months. Yeah, like finances were a little tough. I wasn't able to quite maintain like my Chinese medicine protocol the way I had intended to. Uh, Things were rough. I went through a series of like different like options for my eczema treatment, which gosh, it's been so long since I've filmed. I don't remember if I think I already talked about them in previous videos, and if I have, I will find those videos and I will link them in the description down below, about like how I recovered from this essentially hate slash stress induced flare up made from just personal life decisions and eating choices. And so that humbled me. Um, I don't know if you can hear the siren, but yeah, like it humbled me going through that, going through so much anger and hate for haters, for racists, against Asians and Black people and whatnot, and um, it hurt. It hurt in so many ways. It hurt so deeply. I just remember feeling shocked by everything, and overwhelmed by the things on social media and all the information and the news articles and all the incidences that were being like mentioned, and how people were targeting Asian people and Asian women in particular in different ways. Um, so it humbled me, and it forced me to like relax. I started to realize that, you know, hate is hate no matter who is dealing it, and hate is also stressful, and we already know stress kills because it negatively affects your immune system, your body's ability to function, and your ability to think clearly and make good decisions about what you should eat for your skin, like me. And so, you know, if stress kills, hate kills, and it can contribute to your own killing, like to your own detriment of your own health. Um, because it just takes over your mind, it takes over your choices, it takes over your energy. It's depleting, it's exhausting to be angry for so long on an ongoing basis. And that also kind of gave me the epiphany that even if there are racist people out there, they're not happy, they're not relaxed. Hating anyone or any group of people or anything is very depleting. Like, it's like you're constantly on edge, you're tense, you want to get rid of them, you hate their existence, like you want to remove them, and so their existence stresses you out, and then it also affects like how you take up space and like how comfortable you feel going places or staying places for however long, because as soon as they arrive or as soon as you see someone in the group that you hate, then you know you have to leave, or you feel stressed out, or you just, you know, you get like obsessed with it. So nobody is enjoying racism, really. I mean, I don't know if there's any actual chaotic energy or spirits out there who feed off what hate does to people, but I think like human beings, like regular human beings, and most other beings on this planet, do not benefit from it, even if they pretend to, even if they try to put up a front. Hate benefits no one, not even the hater, because not only do they kind of want to like get rid of you, or, you know, get rid of you, but they're affecting their own health negatively through how stressed they are about the existence of others who are different than them. So everybody is suffering, everyone is dying to some degree, a little faster because of hate. I also have my whiteboard as usual, so if I'm looking away, that's why I'm looking at my bullet points that I wrote down. Yeah, retaliation, to the degree that I did it in my last video about racism and eczema, did not make me feel happy. I did not feel good after that video. I just felt like I was dwelling in it. I was dwelling in negativity, hate. I'm seeing another hummingbird in my mom's lemon tree. So cute. I'm so happy. Why are all these hummingbirds coming when I film YouTube videos? I love it. Thank you. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. Okay. So sorry. But anyway, I eventually calmed down and I got therapy. I joined a program, a 6-week program for positive intelligence, that's run by my friend Amy Murakami, and I'll leave her link below. But the positive intelligence course was also very helpful for me to get over hate. And yeah, that hummingbird is still like all over my mom's lemon tree. I'm so happy. But she, the program was really great for helping me to just put myself in someone else's shoes, be considerate, of like what other people could be going through. And if you're a person of color, or an Asian person, or a black person, or a native person, or whatever other indigenous tribal ethnicity, that has suffered at the hands of white supremacy and colonization. I mean, I'm Filipino, so we may already feel like we've been considerate, like we've been raised to be considerate, we've been trained to be considerate of white people all the time, always making space for them, always quieting down ourselves for them, because that's just a social structure that we had been growing up with. And so why should we try to be even more considerate of them? And, you know, I went through this kind of struggle internally myself. I really asked myself these same questions, and what I came up with is that not that white people need any more consideration socially, but it's just a totally different time, and there's a whole nother bird. Oh my goodness, it's bird time in my backyard. Wow, I have never seen so many birds in my backyard like at the same time. Wow. But not that they need any more consideration, but it's just a different time with different factors there. Social media, the amount of transparency that is out there now, the amount of like holding people accountable is different. It's a different world that is benefiting people of color more. And so it's sort of like I realized I needed to consider like what are they going through in this very new time with new dynamics, with new technology, with so many faster ways to communicate and spread information, and it's so easy to get people fired and get rid of people and ruin their reputations. And I don't know, it's like there's a part of me that's like justice to a degree, but there's another bigger part of me that's like, how fair is it really if we were all raised with the same illusion? Because there I'm seeing lately, and as I've calmed down, I've realized, wow, there's a lot of white people who are like also shocked by what has happened during the pandemic, by the things that have been revealed from George Floyd's death and police brutality and all these things, like especially the younger white people. Like, I mean, it could be all of them. I've seen it in every generation. Like, I've spoken to white people in every generation, that almost every generation that exists. For sure, boomers, um, Gen Xers, millennials like myself, and Gen Zers, who are like obviously like on the bandwagon. Well, for the most part, at least the ones I've talked to. Not to assume that 100% of any generation is going to be conservative or liberal, but um, you know, I see white people in every generation who are shocked, who are hurt, who feel guilty, who feel ashamed, who don't like the racism, or like they went with it silently, because if they didn't, they would also be bullied, they would also be outcast, and it was like a form of social survival. Not that it condones it, not that it makes up for it, but it's like, just like there could be people of color who support Trump and other conservatives, there are a lot of white people who support liberal beliefs and people of color, and who appreciate foreigners. And the things that they show us in the media are extremities. They're like on the fringe, on the edge. Like, they're really like the sensational people that really like stand out and really make news headlines. They're not. I don't. The more I'm out in the world, the less I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky though, because I do live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I will have a different experience than, I don't know, someone in the deep south, or maybe the Midwest. So I don't know. I'm probably very lucky and privileged in that way. Um, but at least here in the liberal state of mostly liberal state of California. I don't know. Then like very north and the very south can be pretty conservative too. But where I'm at in the middle, in the Bay Areas, there are a lot of white people who support liberal beliefs, and will be the first to um, call out white supremacy. Will be the first to um, question if there is bias. And, of course, there's going to be people who are comfortable in their current positions, and I don't know, if I was them, would I be any different? I don't know. I'm not them. I haven't grown up with like that much privilege, like the privilege of white men my whole life, in a time that really supported it at the time, like in the 90s and in the 50s, and things like that. um, but in any case, I guess my main thing is just like, there's people on both sides that are also on both sides, and I can only hope with social media and more transparency that, regardless of what anyone chooses to claim or believe, that, I don't know, humanity will reign supreme, that kindness and compassion and fairness will reign supreme, over any political party. And for people who are like, you know the amount of time white people have had privilege through colonization and all of that is much longer than we are going through right now. We've only just begun. We've only just revealed, unveiled the wizard, so to speak, of white supremacists and racism, and how embedded it has been in the media and our school books and educational system. And to that I say, maybe white people, not all white people, of course, right? But maybe the white supremacist privilege and system has had a longer time to exist, time-wise. Excuse me, but now that we have more technology, now that we can communicate to so many people faster all over the world. Oh, well, hold on. Sorry, my neighbor is like, I don't know, airing out his laundry, and I don't want anyone to look at me while I'm filming. So it's a little darker for now, but now that we have all this technology and transparency, we can make progress happen a lot faster. We can inform people faster, and more people can learn faster about what not to do when it comes to how they treat other people. So I feel like that kind of balances out the timeline, but then again, I can't speak for every race, and I can't even imagine what Black people are going through. They've definitely had it the worst, and I couldn't tell anyone to forgive or move on any faster than they genuinely were ready for, or felt was fair for them. So everyone's going to be on their own journey with this. And so, it's like, so now that I've kind of balanced out my view on white people, and I've realized that despite everything that has happened in the past few years with the pandemic, that I've still had so many white supporters and subscribers and followers and friends and people who are respectful of race and who do acknowledge racism exists, and who are very quick to acknowledge their own privilege. I realize, like, we really are just people in the end. And I don't know, at least where I live in the Bay Area, it has become very common to just call out white privilege and in my opinion, to hate white people and whiteness. And it's just kind of the same thing on a different side of the coin, and it's heartbreaking. This is why so I'm wearing some makeup, but I'm not actually wearing any eyeshadow or eyeliner because I kind of felt like I might cry in this video. Because for people of color who are like hating on white people and thinking only white people are getting hurt by that, are wrong, because white people have friends who are not white, like me. And I recently had a really bad experience with an online social group that I was a part of. I had been encouraged to host a Filipino dinner with this group, and the group was mainly composed of other Asian people, other Filipinos like me, and I planned it like a month ahead of time because I just had such a busy month in August. And so, for weeks, everyone was excited. There were people, more and more people were RSVPing closer to the date. Someone had asked me about making a reservation. I made it, and everything was set. Everything was set. And everyone was excited up until the night before the dinner. And one white guy RSVP'd and took the last spot in the reservation. And suddenly everyone else was dropping like flies. I went from having 20 people interested to 10 people, to literally only the white guy and one other Chinese guy person who actually showed up. And this was like over a month of having it hyped, getting it excited, putting so much, constantly checking the RSVP list, putting so much like love into and attention into the event, and all that to not only have the person who encouraged me to host, who's another Filipina, but the person who asked me about making a reservation also both flake on me, another Asian. And it was very disappointing. It was very disheartening and so sad. And I felt like they gave the white guy so much power. And the white guy just wanted to socialize. He was just like and one of us, just wanting to make new friends, so meet new people, you know, kind of get out of self-isolating for the past 3 years. And it just took one white guy to practically obliterate my entire guest list. Like they just, I I haven't spoken with them. I cannot prove it, but I mean the numbers don't lie. And I was so disappointed in them, and I was like, wow, you would be willing to flake. Like people were flaking up into the hour. One person even flaked after the event started. Another Asian girl, and someone who I thought I was becoming friends with, but I don't know. That's like crazy flaky. That's purposefully flaky. And insulting to me. I felt it was really disrespectful, and you know, Asian women, we've had a different kind of like specific type of anger towards white men during this pandemic, and there have been many news articles about white men targeting Asian women, sexually, being predatory, attacking them at Caltrain stations and crazy stuff like that. And so there's like an extra level of hate there, beyond racism. Well, I guess it's kind of racist and sexist stuff, but it's a really bad combination. And ever since recovering from hate and me just like really learning to kind of forgive not only like white supremacy and racist, but forgive myself for like getting into it myself and becoming a hater and essentially kind of a racist myself for a while. I've learned that we are just people, and that white guy that RSVP to the event was so respectful, so considerate, so appreciative that I still went through with the event, even though we just were like a skeleton crew, just the three of us. I don't know if he read into how much people flaked after he RSVP'd, but I'm a Scorpio. I'm intuitive. I think I know what happened with that. And it's a shame. And I honestly cried about it because there were a lot of people in the RSVP list I was looking forward to seeing again and meeting new people myself. But I'm like, wow, like you're really gonna let one white guy like take over the whole event, and like you just really can't, like, I don't know, just give him a chance and just get to know him as a person. I mean, sure, I'm gonna admit he did try to pay for dinner for all of us, but I paid my part and he backed off. Like, he didn't push it, he was not aggressive. And that's just, on a case by case basis, on an individual level. That's how I want to be treated by white people. That's how I want to be treated by any other person of any other race. Is just, take each other on a case by case basis, see if the vibe is right, and if it is, then maybe you can make a new friend, and if not, you move on. But all of this hate is holding in just so much stagnant energy in our bodies. It is not good for our health. It takes away opportunities to make new friends, opportunities to expand your network with anyone. It's just so sad. And I feel for that guy. He who happens to be white. I feel for that guy because I can only imagine that in many, especially liberal places in the United States and possibly the world at this point, that there are white people or white men who are trying to be on the good side of things socially. Maybe they're trying to support people of color by joining, these groups and these events to try to meet them and socialize with them more and get to know them more as people. But now there's all this resentment because of the news and everything, and I feel like they're getting really isolated socially. Um, but then again, I'm not a white person. I don't know what they're really going through. I don't know what they're really feeling or thinking. But it hurts. And it hurts me too as a person of color to see that as a human being, just to see another human um, be so isolated that way, and to not be given a chance. Um, it's so sad. So, again, we have technology, we have social media, and now we have AI. Let's use it to move faster, heal faster, improve faster. Um, let us be the example of what it means to be mature and compassionate. Let us be the superior ones when it comes to progress, and treating others the way we want to be treated. Again, I don't know what every individual person of color and whiteness is going through. I can't speak for anyone but myself. But I hope that my words reached somebody in the right way. and and sure, yeah, there's still white supremacists. Yeah, there's still racists in general in many groups. There's people who are colorists, or is that what you call it? Like, people who have biases towards people who have darker complexions versus lighter complexions in the same race. Um, so at what point do we finally mature? At what point can we finally move on? I don't want to discount the past. I just don't know how much longer we really need to dwell in it, but at the same time, I also see the space for white people to create even more systems in education and update our history books, to fully acknowledge all the lies and deception and hidden information, especially for Native Indigenous people, um, for the people who were colonized before all of this uh, current governmental system got created. I mean, like I said, I'm not an expert in history or politics or debating, to be honest. So, I mean, take it or leave it. Um, but of what I know, I do think there is also still so much progress to be made in the educational system, in the governmental systems, in the financial systems, for equality and for proper education and information for all people, and to acknowledge and not avoid and brush under the rug, sweep away these real issues. Like, I am saying let's progress, let's forgive, let's heal and move on eventually, but it's also important um, for white people to take on the role of leveling the playing field socially, acknowledging the truth, and even if they were never slave owners, even if they were never the colonizers, the truth is they have benefited from them in the past, and they've, even just by association, even if they're not actually white, maybe they just white passing, but you know um, I think it's important to be honest too about these real consequences that people of color have had to deal with, and how different the social dynamics have been for us up until this point. Not to say that it's over yet, it's definitely not balanced yet, but at least for me, in my life experience and in my observation in the Bay Area, at least in California, um, there's definitely been a very strong tipping point. Um, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. I'm grateful to be here. I feel safe here, for the most part. Though there are some weird people who are kind of weird. um, I don't know about all of the acknowledgement of racism in our systems. But yeah, you know, stress kills. Hate is stressful, so hate kills. So let's kill hate with love. Basically, is the moral of the story. So I hope, again, this touched somebody's heart in the right way, in the way I intended. I hope it contributes to a positive um, conversation around racism and its effect on people with sensitive skin, eczema, and any other skin condition that's triggered by stress, or any even health condition in general that is definitely going to be triggered by stress and racism and other stressful experiences like that. Hopefully we are at a point where we can take the opportunities presented to us with the technology that we have now. So thanks for watching. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you like to see more. Till next time, bye.